Alright, we are back with Season 2. This is our summer series. Usually run one during the summer to keep in practice with a lot of modding going on right now that I'm doing for the FCS mod. Not much time, but I do want to run a summer series to stay in practice. Last year we did Season 1 of Holy Cross. We ended up with only 7 teams in conference. We ended up going 6-0 in conference, 2-5 in non-conference games and a bowl game. Finished the season 8-5. You can look back and see all this in Season 1. All those were live streamed. And then we lost to the number 6 Louisville Cardinals 27-10 in the Orange Bowl. Took us out. So all the coaches stayed on board. Bob Peters, head coach, Stewart, offensive coordinator, and George, defensive coordinator, respectively. Taking a look at some of the coaching changes from the off season. Coach Peters took a 5-year extension with Holy Cross, and some notables. Doc Holliday left Marshall to take the Louisville job. Steve Sarkisian leaves Alabama to go to North Illinois as the head coach. Brent Venables left Clemson to become the head coach at Cincinnati. Matt Campbell left Iowa State to become the Pitt head coach, and Gary Patterson was fired from TCU. Luke Fickle moved from the head coach at Cincinnati to the head coach at Iowa, and Mario Cristobal moved from the head coach at Auburn to the head coach at Oregon. So we graduated 16 players overall. No players went to the NFL draft. Some of the better players we had were middle linebacker, Carpenter, some of the guys, and like I say, you can watch those in the other streams. Outgoing transfers, we lost one 62 overall wide receiver, not much of a loss, but we had no incoming transfers. Took in 14 freshmen, a total of 14 freshmen, and we did a total of 14 overall reassignments. Now, lost a lot in the transition on some of these players, but this is a young team, so I think in the long run it'll work out better. And then the training results came in well for all those that we had switched to different positions and totally moved things around with what we had. The best training results was Tompkins, our sophomore quarterback, and we've got our big halfback, senior halfback, McCullough. He's now an 86. So it's taken us from an overall 63 to an overall 70 in one season is what we've done. I think I gave the training results a B+. We're a little weak on the left side, and we also have weak in the secondary with some younger players. Didn't have to cut any players. We only had 66, so we had one walk-on who was a cornerback at a 40 overall, but he was a walk-on, but to make a full roster. No conference changes, and pursuant to all, this is a Teambuilder team and a Teambuilder concurrent dynasty that I'm doing. So in that, a couple house rules on that. Once you win a couple conference games, that's the way I've always done it. You have to beat 2 teams in a conference to get a shot to move to that conference the next season. So in Season 1 we beat Tulane, which was in the Conference USA, and Idaho, which was in the Independence. And so we've kind of stacked the schedule up to work out, and we'll take a look at that. Bowl bids haven't changed around any. So overall in the off season, I'd say recruiting was a C+, training was a B+, and the season overall was a B for Season 1. And my freshman quarterback played above a freshman level, obviously, for Simeon Tompkins, and you'll see that in his second season. So our schedule strength, what we did for schedule. So now let's take a look at a few things that's current to Season 2, which we're getting ready to start here. Take a look at the schedule. All right, what we've done here, we've got Tennessee, and we've got UTSA. Now, this is one of those teams that we're going to try to sneak into the Conference USA, or maybe into the SBC. Not really sure. Sun Belt maybe. Troy, there's a Sun Belt team. Another one, and then there's another Texas State, and then North Texas. So we got a shot to get in. So our non-conference, kind of split them up, use the bye weeks early, try to stay healthy through the non-conference games, and then we'll start our conference schedule. I snuck one in there, non-conference game. And we're using the American Conference, obviously. Fordham, there's a rivalry game. Lehigh got to play that away this year. That was a home game in season 1. So that pretty much takes care of that part of it. Let's see, preseason polls. Let's see who's looking good here for season 2. Clemson, Ohio State, Notre Dame. Look at that. Pretty average for the top, say, 15 teams. In the preseason polls. Obviously, I'm not in that. Heisman watch for season 2. Trevor Lawrence being a senior. This was a 2018 roster at the beginning of season 1, so that sets up, what roster you're working with, the exception of the Teambuilder teams. These are all downloaded Teambuilder teams straight from EA Sports' website, so it's pretty cool. So let's take a look at the depth chart, what we're working with here. Starting our second year, quarterback did a great job in season 1, played well above a freshman level, and a couple backups. This guy we're pretty pumped about. He's got some good traits. Moving to halfback, our senior is our impact player, Carlton McCullough. Smiley backing him up. And Kidd, a freshman. Ricky Webb, this was one of the switches we made. Moved him. I can't remember what he was, a full linebacker or something. We needed a fullback, so we moved him over there. He only lost a couple points overall. Flanagan, Chavez, Holloway, and a bunch of freshmen in this setup here, in this set of wide receivers. As you can see. Led by our junior, best receiver we've got, not the fastest guy, but the best guy with the best hands. Tight end, sophomore Myrick. We had, let's see, I have to go back. Our tight end last year, yeah, was Fleming was our tight end last year, because I used a tight end quite a bit. And Fleming was pretty decent with decent hands, but Myrick's a little better rated overall. And this is, like I said, the left side of our line, offensive line, a little weak. We got a freshman starting there, junior helping him out, but he's pretty weak. Decent in the middle, with Dickens as a senior coming back, Lester as a junior coming back. And of course, Gavin Upshaw, our best offensive lineman, in my opinion. Try to run behind him as much as possible. Moving to the defense, starting a freshman at left end, Jordan Thomas. Junior, McDougal's back, Ty McDougal. I think he led in sacks of the remaining guys that made it to move to season 2 that weren't graduating. He was one of our best defensive guys. Muse and McAfee both back for their junior year, so we're pretty good in the middle. Got some seniors down here, and one possible decent guy coming up. Linebackers, Hicks is back. Eaton is back. Their other defensive great player, Rollins. Abram Rollins, another senior. He was on a hot streak finishing the season with a pick or two and a couple sacks. Quarterback, Crosby, impact player, pretty much one of our defensive leaders. And then we're a little weak back there. Other than that, we kind of fall off a little bit. May go ahead and move them around next at the end of this season. We'll see how that works out. Free safety, Dawson's back for his senior year. Strong safety, Rhodes is back for his senior year. So we got a lot of work to do in recruiting, as you can see. Spencer Kraft kicking the field goals, and Kerry Singletary, real good punter. He puts them inside the 10 a lot of times. And of course we got some kickoff return. We worked that stuff out. So back around to the top of the order with Tompkins. So that's the roster rundown, the schedule rundown, and pretty much a rundown of what happened in the off season. So we're about to kick it with season 1, playing at home. Invited number 22 Tennessee. See if we can't get a little love, beat a ranked team to start the season. That sure would be good, but I'm not putting any money on that. So anyway, season 2, Holy Cross Crusaders, week 1 coming up, summer series.